Hi, and welcome. Today we are going to be learning about flexible learning and our daily routines in individuals and societies. Make sure that you have your guided notes, which can be found in the bin next to the Chromebook cart. So if you don't have those yet, pause the video, go back and get them, and when you return, we will begin. So you need to write the learning target where it says I can on your guided notes. And this will be the same for every time you have your guided notes. So just right at the top there, put I can describe flexible learning and daily classroom routines. So after this lesson, that's what you'll be able to do. All right, so first of all, what is flexible learning? At this point, you don't have to do anything with your notes. I'll let you know when you have to do something with your notes. But how many of you have ever been bored in school? Whole class lesson is going on, you've done the reading, you've answered the questions, and then you're just sitting there. You're bored. Or, on the other hand, how many of you have been, oh my gosh, the teacher's going too fast. I can't keep up. I can't answer all the questions. Oh, she's on the next question, and I haven't even answered the first one. Well, that's the beauty of flexible learning. What flexible learning does is allow for you to kind of plan yourself and go at your own pace. There's no pressure to complete assignments on the teacher's timeline. It is more on your timeline. And so if you needed extra time, you've got it. If you're done, you can work ahead. All right, there's three parts of flexible learning. So now I want you to go back to your guided notes and you'll see that. What is flexible learning? First of all, it's blended. So what that means is there is always going to be an instructional video like you're doing now in the flexible learning classroom. You'll always do a guided notes, but then it's blended because in addition, you'll be doing a variety of different activities. So you might be doing discussions, you might be doing a little project with a partner, you might be doing a reading or working on a Quizlet or something like that. So there's really a variety. So right now, just write down three things you might be doing in the blended part of flexible learning, and that's in your notes. Okay, mastery, what does that mean? It means you show what you know before you move on to the next lesson. So in your notes, it says you must earn mastery. So you can put the word mastery in that blank to move on. Now, just so you know, level 4 is a mastery. We'll get to that later on when we talk about assessment and feedback, but that's kind of what you're looking for. Now, at the end of every lesson, you'll have a mastery check, and that shows that you know what you're doing. So it might be a quiz, and that's typically what it is, and it's just a short quiz. It might be a mini project, it might be something like a Padlet, but it's some way for you to prove that you know the material. And then finally, the third part of flexible learning is that it's self-paced. And again, you decide what you need and how you're going to spend your time to learn the material best. Now, that's where a lot of people start to have a question. They're like, well, if it's self-paced, then when is my work due? Well, I do want to point out that self-paced does not mean no pace. It doesn't mean you can turn in work whenever you want. There are some due dates, but there's two different ones. So target due dates, if you look on your guided notes, target due dates have to do with the lesson itself. When should the actual lesson be done? And they're really guidelines to help you keep up with class and stay on pace with the current lesson. So you can put that in your notes too. And then the last star there, they're flexible, right? So within a lesson, if for some reason it took you a little bit longer to do a reading one day and you need to continue it the next day, you can. You might be have to do a little bit of catch up work, but that's okay. You might decide to take it home for homework. You might decide that you can get that done the next day and then work on the rest of the lesson. So it's fairly flexible. Okay, the second type of due date are these final due dates. And final due dates happen at the end of an entire unit. They are hard due dates, which means that once the due date is passed, you can't turn in anything else. So whatever lesson work is not done, it goes to a 0. So in your notes, you can put lesson work not completed equals a 0. So that's really the one final due date. Now, I will say if you're falling really behind, then you might have a meeting. I'll actually require a meeting with you, and we'll work it out so that you don't ever fall too behind and you have a plan so that you can be on time with the final due date. Okay, last thing on this part is how flexible learning is helpful to you. Well, in that box, I just want you to jot down 3 things. So, first of all, how is flexible learning helpful to you? You can put the words teacher in your backpack, okay? The lessons are always with you. You can share them with your parents. You can look at them again at home if you need to. So you've got them there with you. So lessons are anytime, anywhere. So lessons in your backpack. You can put that under flexible learning. Second of all is feedback. You know right away. So you get feedback immediately. You know if you're right, you know if you're wrong. You can see the answer keys. You'll get feedback from me in the classroom, from other students in the classroom. It's how everything is structured. And then finally, it helps you because you plan your day so that you learn the most in class. So that plan is helpful and keeps you focused and allows you to get the most out of class. All right, so this is the end of part 1. What I'd like you to do right now is pause the video, go and get a sticker from the board, the question board that's near Mrs. Sims, and put it next to the flexible learning at the end here, how flexible learning helps you, and then come on back after you've taken a little stretch and gotten your sticker.